Doc Rivers continues to time and time again not get it when it comes to getting. Oh! Let him play!
You bet one bone to win 19. What site do you use where you can actually bet $1?
They let you do 50-cent bets.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, literally, like he dropped Superman down like the drain, comes out, he's like, God damn it, Superman. I don't know, honey. I don't know where he got that from.
From Los Angeles, this is Dave in the City,
Part of the DITCOW Sports Network.
Now, here's Dave Medina.
Good evening, sports fans, and a pleasure to have you here for the big Super Bowl show. Good to have you with us from the Dave in the City studios and at the home of champions, still, Southern California, the home of the Dodgers and the Lakers, who both won titles last year. And a new title will be awarded in the NFL in just a few days. And as part of that coverage, we're going to cover some prop bets on this program. And of course, you remember all the years of doing this program, we've had a couple of very faithful companions join us to break down all the prop bets. And we got them back this year. This is very exciting news. So let's introduce these guys one by one. And we're going to start with, of course, our good friend Kevin on the Cape, who now is exploding in his own little podcast universe. He's got like 4 shows now, just like Mike. Kev, welcome back to the show. How's it going tonight?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You're coming in a little low, or is it maybe it's just me? Maybe I didn't turn it up enough, but good. And our second guest is our fella down in the Mid-Atlantic, running things nicely with his kind of new brewery. He's been around for a couple years now. And he would be Tom in Virginia. Welcome back, Tom. How's it going tonight? Yeah, just give him a second to unmute.
Unmute. All right.
There you go.
I thought you had control over that. Okay. Doing well down here in Virginia. The brewery's been going since March of last year, which I've often said was the worst time to open a brewery since the week before Prohibition came into effect. We're doing okay. We're getting through it. So
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I was really worried about that. I remember I texted you about it back during the summer, so it's like good to hear, definitely. So guys, what we are here for, as you all know, is we are here to cover the Super Bowl prop bets, and I just want to get this clever graphic up for it. There we go. Super Bowl
We have
55 prop bets. There it is. Ready to roll.
Great.
That's worth it. Wow. I just left the 2-year-old. He didn't fall asleep yet. I was like, dude, I gotta go. I'm out. You figure it out. Go to. Wow. Nice.
Yep. And that's literally all I have. That's the only graphic. Just that one slide.
Shot your load in the first 5 minutes.
But that's what it's about. So as we come into the Super Bowl, I think before we start, just a really quick question. Like, I normally ask the question, what are you going to be doing for the Super Bowl? I'm not going to ask that question this year because it's a very different time. And obviously, the virus is still raging strong, but we have seen some progress in the way of the vaccine. But how have you been, I guess, is my first question. Tom, I'll swing it to you. I mean, how are you these days? And
No, just hanging in there, working from home, as I believe pretty much everybody is.
Yep.
But the second job is not working from home. So, it's going down to the brewery and kind of manning it down there and pouring beers when necessary. But we've got some bar staff in there right now. So we're brewing on the weekends, and we're doing everything possible to try and run a business during all of this, and gonna get through it. So,
well, I think you'll get there. And now I hope that's not a mush or anything, but seriously,
no. Not even you can mush this. Now I've destroyed my business.
No, but it's a great setup. I mean, clearly, who could not love beer? I mean, unless you just aren't a wine person, but even if you do like wine, you still like beer. So I think it's a great recipe for success.
Yeah, we make beers that drink like wines. We make beers that drink like beers. very good at what we do, apparently. We didn't know how it was going to be going into it. We had only homebrewed, and brewing on a large system was kind of something new, and we just hoped it would work. And so far, we've gotten great reviews, great results. So, we keep it going, and people love what we do, and we're going to keep it going.
Love it. Love it. And Kev, we hadn't had you on the program, or at least not this program, in a while. So what's new with you?
First, I need to follow up with it and find out what Tom's drinking right now, because it looks delicious.
Well, if you look at the glass, I'm trying to do a little product placement here for my brewery.
Yeah,
These are on sale at the brewery, but I'm also drinking this Hardywood Rum Barrel Pumpkin Ale.
That sounds like something or Dave's alley right there.
That is true. That looks great.
I've had it for a few months. I haven't had a chance to drink it yet, but running a little bit low on the alcohol department in the house, and I figured I needed a nice, good beverage to partake of for this.
Nice. Well, Dave, to answer your question, I'm well. We got about 14 inches of snow we're under right now.
Ooh.
I don't think I've gone more than 50 feet out of the house in about 6 or 8 weeks now. It's been pretty rough. Like when things started ticking back up in our neighborhood, in our county, my wife said, with your heart, you're going nowhere. And I said,
yeah,
you can't really argue with that, So outside of just around the neighbors and shoveling some stuff and clearing some things, and I mean, I'm pretty much stay-at-home dad, beyond, So,
well,
I mean, I was doing some contract stuff for the old retreat center I was working for, building out some online programming, some online cooking courses for some of the chefs in there. So that was cool. It was like 8 or 10 week. I think it was like 10-week contract. So that was fun. Doing a lot of writing, which I love. And but that's as far as work goes. And then I've just been doing the podcast stuff, and now back with you guys.
Yep. You have the Gory Bypass program, which has had rave reviews. I remember them, and I know there's a new program coming out soon called Screening Giants. Maybe to refresh our audience a little bit about that. How are those projects going for you?
The Gory Bypass one is good. It's right now we're doing it's National Heart Month, so that's kind of like a big month. So I'm doing kind of heart disease and how it impacts women for this entire month. All female guests, and then I'm going to take a little break. We're having another baby, so March 1st is the due date, and I'm going to need like a little break from the heart stuff. It's pretty heavy stuff, so it's not to sound too overly dramatic, but it's like a constant reminder that you're sick, which is it can be a little rough after a while. So I'm messing with the format. I might do a different kind of show when we come back from the baby number 2. But something I am very excited about is I was looking for a little more fun, like back to our roots, like what we do here. Mm-hmm. A little more sports, a little more laughs. So I was looking at the podcast landscape, and I saw a lot of movie review shows that people really seem to like, and but no specific one about documentaries that I could find. So, and I've always kind of liked documentaries, behind the scenes, things like that. So I'm launching a show in March, the end of March, called Screening Giants, which is my tagline is reviewing, revealing, and reveling in the art of the documentary. And it's going to be in themes. So the first theme is going to be sports. And then we're going to roll out probably 3 or 4, 8 block episodes throughout 2021. And it'll be cool. It'll be on all the Podbean and Spotify and Google, and Dave yourself has been already a very, very helpful in the planning and executing of this kind of show with different formats and styles and stuff. And I'm, teasing your audience, but you will be featured, I'm sure, in the layout, the rollout of this show at the end of March. I haven't gotten your contract back yet from the lawyers, but we're hoping.
Well, as long as our people can work the things out with your people, I think it's a go, and maybe you guys will hear from me on that program too.
And Tom, it's a seltzer, but it has a brewery label on it, I think, somewhere. So I used to drink, but
Well, you do what you have to do.
Yeah. Your stuff looks so delicious.
It really does. I gotta get it after a beer myself after this program.
What's it called again? The brewery?
So it's called G34.3 Brewing Company.
You gotta write that down.
Is the largest cloud of ethanol in the universe. It has enough ethanol in it to supply 300,000 pints of beer to every single person on Earth every single day for the next billion years. And I've had to say that probably just as many times.
As many times. And the real question is, do you have like T-shirts?
We.
Oh, because that's what I need. All right.
I'm wearing it right now.
Okay.
Figured I might show that at some point. Again,
nice.
You can't go wrong with that. This is some
No.
good advertising here.
No, absolutely not. Zoom has opened up a whole world. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Dave's apartment. I mean, his bedroom before. I've been in his apartment, but.
Yeah, it's a real privilege, definitely, and I hang on to this as long as I can. I gotta tell you guys. I mean, this is a cool place to do a show. So, let we talk about the game itself leading up to, which will involve all these prop bets. There are some incredible storylines. We talk about stories that can be covered in Screening Giants. I mean, I think we're going to have some documentaries about Tom Brady when it's all said and done. This is a remarkable moment for him. It's a pretty big upset. Not a huge upset. They were only a 4-point underdog, but they went out and they beat the Packers on the road. I mean, that's not nothing. And I think Brady getting to a 10th Super Bowl is pretty impressive. I mean, that's... You don't see. I think that's the first I've ever seen of anybody get into a 10th anything in my lifetime. So I mean, I think you don't. Not before that, you had to go like,
maybe like
you had to go to the
Yogi
Celtics. Yeah,
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Seriously, like that's
Bill
like
Russell,
the last
Yogi
guy.
Berra. Well, Yogi, like Tom said, Yogi's got 10 rings. So
Oh yeah, Yogi's a good call. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
He's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
You don't have to look any further, I think.
Yeah. So that's rare air. Not even Michael Jordan could do that, LeBron is trying. Like he's probably up to like 8. So he might be in a, give it a, if things go well this year for the Lakers, he could be reaching 10 finals, which is incredible in itself. But it's a great moment. So Tom, I mean, speak to Tom Brady's career. I know he's a guy you root for a lot when you with the Giants playing against his Patriots. So your thoughts about him making the summit in this incredible game.
I mean, to me, being a Giants fan and going to school up in New Hampshire, the Patriots were a safe team I could root for as, just to, still have friends being a Red Sox fan or a Yankees fan while they're all Red Sox fans. So I did follow the Patriots for a number of years in college. And, I've always had an affinity for Tom Brady. I think I might go out there on a limb and say that he's a pretty good quarterback, but but he's certainly the best that we've ever seen in our lifetime and possibly in the entire history of the game. So to see him, for the Patriots to get rid of him, for him to go to a new team, and for him to immediately be right back there and get to a Super Bowl, I mean, it's going to be hard it's going to be hard for me not to root for him to do it outside of the Patriots, and then to have Gronkowski come and then come out of retirement basically and say, "Hey, I'll come and do it with you." I mean, that's it's a really, really compelling story.
Yeah,
and so that's what I'm going to be watching and kind of pulling for him to get another one.
I mean, he's come this far.
As strange as it is.
I mean,
get another one. You kind of have to pull for him to do this.
It is very remarkable, and it's probably it puts me in a very interesting position because it says to me that greatness can be appreciated. Once it's in particular, I don't think you really truly know the extent of the greatness until you see it in other contexts. So you saw it with the Patriots, and they just won and won and won. But if he's doing it again with another team, I mean that really shows how much of a leadership skill he has. I don't think he's that great compared to what he used to be, but he still is pretty good. Like, I mean, you compare to like Drew Brees, and the difference is embarrassing. Like, it's incredible.
And we always used to talk about Brady and Belichick, and but there's not Belichick. There's still Brady in the Super Bowl. It speaks a lot to Brady more than it does to Belichick's coaching ability specifically. Not to say that he doesn't have great coaching ability, which of course he does, but for Brady to do it on his own without that is actually pretty decent. Yeah,
I mean, he's got good weapons around him today too. I mean, these wide receivers are great. Evans is great. Godwin is great. Some pretty quality guys to throw to, but but without the context of New England, it does seem like it's easier to root for Brady in a way because he's doing it himself now, and it is very interesting that he's able to get this far. So, Kev, I'll give it to you. Any other thoughts you had on the Brady side of the Super Bowl?
No, it's just nice not to see the Pats in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like you said,
like, right?
Tom Brady, and it doesn't matter. Like whatever, he could go to 10 different teams. He can win 20. It's not the Patriots. I don't care.
I have to say that was a big reason why
Tom Brady makes it so much better. Makes it so much easier.
Absolutely. So I was initially rooting for the Chiefs in this game, but now I'm not. I'm like, you know what? That would be fun. Let's just see how Patriot fans would see that. Like, this guy is going over to a completely different team, and literally in the first year, it takes him to Super Bowl. That would be something.
Yeah.
So, we can cover the Chiefs part of it too. I mean, if you have
put to rest the whole Montana Brady thing. Finally,
Yeah.
Those old timers are still holding on to by a thread. Like, well, Montana took the Chiefs to the playoffs. Well, Brady took the Bucs to the Super Bowl. It's like
it's pretty good.
Let's just end it, please.
That might be it. Yeah, I mean, you can't the math. You can't argue. There's just so many Super Bowls year after year, and it's even tougher to do it now than it was back then when Montana played. I mean, with the salary cap such as it is,
right,
and money such as it is, and it's tough. It's tough to keep a team together, and so I think it's quite interesting how that happened. And in fact, free agency in the NFL started in 1993, maybe 94, and when Montana took the Chiefs to the playoffs, that was the 93 season, so it was right as that was starting. So he didn't get the full brunt of the system as it is today, even then. So yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. Anyway, that's my point. As for the Chiefs, speaking of the Chiefs, this is like the second Super Bowl for Mahomes, and he's only 25. So it's quite a story in itself. But I don't want to spend too much time on that side because we're going to be hearing from that guy for years. But do either of you have anything to say as far as the Mahomes element and the Chiefs?
The Mahomes element.
Nah.
You're too funny.
I mean, two years to the Super Bowl in a row is and winning it.
Yeah.
And being in contention first, or being favored, I think you said by 4.
Yeah.
The second, it's a story. Obviously, the old versus young always comes into play when Brady gets to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because he's usually the oldest, and he's often facing a younger quarterback. But this is really remarkable. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's nothing I can add to that. I think it's great, and I think it is time to get into these prop bets. So we won't do a whole lot of them, but we're still going to do a bunch of them, and we always do the key ones, and we will start, of course, and with the anthem length. And this year it is a duet.
Oh.
So this is an unusual scenario because normally you don't have two people singing the same anthem. So I don't know how they're going to split it up and all that, but. The two people involved are Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan. Eric Church is a tremendous country star out there in the country. He's had a long career, a lot of great concerts. I mean, very popular in the South, I'm sure, and other parts of the country. But he keeps it fresh and everybody here is just shrugging. They don't.
You're on a roll. He's a tremendous country star in the country. Like, well,
I'm like on the edge of the South here in Virginia, but I can't say I've heard it.
So let's just say he hasn't.
I thought Eric Church played football. It sounds like to me like he's a cornerback for the Chiefs.
He might be both, but
yeah.
at this point, he is a country performer. So he and Jasmine Sullivan, who unfortunately I don't know anything about her, but I can only assume she also is a country star. They're both going to perform the anthem, and the over-under for the anthem is 1:59. So, fascinating number. It always tends to be about 2 minutes. So I'm going to give Junkie the first word on this. Do you like the over or the under a minute?
I need to have one question, maybe more than one, but are they going to be there, or is this like one of these virtual things where people, like, are they live?
Good. Well, they should be live.
I don't know. Like I said, I've been homebound. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I normally know little about the NFL these days, but this year, I mean, no fans. I don't know what's been going on.
think
That's
that they're having
interesting.
live attendance at the game. I think 25,000 tickets.
Oh, they are even that like so they're getting like almost a third full.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
spacing them
Yes.
far
So then
apart.
there's no reason that the. So I want to know nothing about these singers, but the country music guys, they kind of seem like kind of get right to the point kind of people. So not many like big long jams or duets, and I mean not duets, but like solos and stuff. So I'm gonna say under.
Okay. Tom?
My inclination is over, not because I know who they are, but because I think with two, and I think that was a point that Dave made with two, transitioning between the two singers. There might be instrumental stuff. Often, they'll just have them sing it either a cappella or with minor accompaniment of some sort. But I think maybe with this one, they tend to go a little bit longer because there's two people to switch between. So you kind of need some go between with both of them. So I'm going to say over, not by a whole lot, but I think over 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's funny, like the history. You don't ever see. Dave said right in the beginning. You don't usually see multiple people doing this.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. I remember the famous one I always remember is the Giants. I don't know if it was the World Series. But the San Francisco Giants had like half of the Grateful Dead do the national anthem, and it was long, like because they were obviously totally stoned, and like I think at one point there was a harmonica, and then one guy like Garcia stopped. I don't think he knew the words, to be honest with you.
There's an extended jam in the middle of it that went on.
Yeah, there was just Mickey Hart's in the back banging on like something. Yeah, that's the only one I can even think of that I saw multiple people at.
Yeah, I've never really. It's hard for me to visualize it myself, so I don't really know. But if we assume the same principles of country music that Tom was getting into, I will actually side with the junk. Or no, sorry, not Tom. I'm sorry, Junkie was getting into. I will side with you, Kev, and I will go with the under as well. But it's gonna be really close. Like it could. I don't know how they're gonna handle that. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, are you gonna sing one stanza and then the lady sings the other stanza and then they can switch back and forth? Like, I just want to watch just for that to see how balance of lyrics are distributed. No idea. So okay, guys. Well, good luck. We'll see how that one goes. Next up. Which quarterback will be shown first during the anthem? Now, guys, I feel like this is obvious, but Tom, let me go to you first. Who do you think is going to get shown first?
Man, it could be either of them. I'm going to say Tom Brady.
Okay. Kev?
I'm with Tom on that one. I mean, I don't see how the guy is just so darn good looking. I mean, you get a chance to get him without his helmet on, you take it.
He's like a TV producer right there.
He's going to be wearing his helmet for the rest of the game. You're not going to. I mean, he's 43. He still looks amazing.
Yeah.
And he's gotten beaten up in this sport. It just crushes people, and he looks phenomenal. So if I'm in the booth or in the truck, as they used to say, which I don't think exists anymore. I don't think they have the truck outside doing the cameras like they used to. But I put my camera on Tom Brady as much as you could.
And he's going to be the most popular guy in the game. Like especially from the casual viewer. So I agree. I'm going with Brady as well. It's a clear choice for me. Okay, so now to the coin toss. And Tom has told us that tails never fails. But before we go to him, let's go to Kevin's opinion. Do you go with heads or tails in this one?
Are they having a celebratory flipper?
I have not up in the ins and outs of the coin toss this year.
Like that one guy. Who was the guy who didn't even flip that one year? It didn't even turn. He just threw it and it didn't turn. They were like, you can't do that.
Like a pancake, yeah.
It's a coin flip. It's not a toss. It's not a coin. I guess it's a coin. I don't know, whatever.
Just throw it. Just throw it.
I feel like it was somebody really old and they were like, oh, this guy.
Well, the coin is really heavy to an old person.
Yeah.
Just drop it on the ground. It's fine.
I'll say tails.
All right. Tom, is the tails never failing again?
It is again. I think I did that last year, and I think I was right last year. So let's go with that one again.
I'm not arguing against history. I think the results are the results. I'm going to go tails too. So we are unanimous. Tails all the way this year in the coin toss.
It'd be interesting to listen back to all 10 podcasts that we've done on this subject and see if the law of averages has worked out. Or
well, yeah, you're right. I know what your answer is going to be for all of them too, so that's convenient. So I can just check the actual result against it. Yeah, there's something to it though, because I feel like it does hit a lot of the time. Seriously, like you might think, but it's supposed to be even odds, but no, I see tails working a lot in it. So good stuff. Okay, so now as far as who's going to win the coin toss, do you go the Chiefs or the Bucks? And let me give you two first, Tom.
Who is calling it, or which team gets to call?
Good question.
I think that the visitor calls, right?
Right. So that
So
means
would
the
be-
Chiefs.
Yes.
Because
Chiefs will be calling.
yeah, even if it wasn't the Bucks, I think it would have been the Chiefs anyway, because the AFC team is designated as the road team this year.
We will say the Chiefs will win.
Okay. All right, Kev, what do you say?
I'm gonna say the Chiefs are gonna call. They get to call the toss. I feel the same way. I feel the Chiefs are gonna call head. Wait, we're guessing who's gonna win the toss?
Yeah, correct.
The Bucks.
Oh,
I feel like Mahomes is gonna call heads like fool.
you're right. He is gonna call heads because he's thinking, no heads gets ahead. He's gonna be wrong, and I agree. I'm gonna take the Bucks as well. Gonna go with the Bucks.
Yes.
Tails doesn't fail, and the Bucks are not calling it. Boom. There you go. So, okay, great. So next up on our props, the first score of the game. We have touchdown, which
Always
is
a good one.
so we have touchdown at -170, any other plus 140, and Junkman. Let's get your prediction.
It's gonna be. Yeah, I think it'll be a touchdown. I think. Yeah, it's -170. Yeah. But I do think it'll be a touchdown. The first score will be a touchdown.
All right, Tom.
I always try to play out the scenario in my head. I'll say it's going to be a field goal.
Okay. So any other. So that means a lot of things. It could be a field goal. It could be a safety.
It's not gonna be a safety, Dave.
It was once.
Yeah, see, the one with
Nah.
Peyton Manning. The snap went over his head, and then they recovered, and then it went into the end zone. So it was a safety. So it's kind of wild. But I'm gonna go touchdown too, because I mean these teams score touchdowns. Like it's the Chiefs are not out there to score field goals. Like when they are close, they will go for it. So I feel like if they have the ball in particular, but I don't think they will very likely score a touchdown. But if it's the Bucks, they might score a touchdown too, because they did in the NFC Championship to start the game. So I think touchdown's the one. So when do you think will be the next time we see a safety in a Super Bowl? It's gonna be a while, right? Because
It'll probably be when it's got to be a Manning. It's gonna be
Yeah.
Peyton's kid or grandkid gets in the game or something. Some golly darn gee kind of guy.
well, there's what Arch. I mean,
There is
Cooper Manning's kid. Yeah,
there is a son
Arch
or
Manning.
whatever. He was like is he in college yet, or is
I think he's still in high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in like 10th grade or something.
So
I
that
saw
Manning.
that
Arch
like a
Manning.
blip, and I was like, oh god, no, not another one.
You thought it was over.
Yeah.
Let's mark it down for our 2028 prop bet show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
call.
keep that one. I'll keep that one tabled for a little while.
yeah. You're marking the Arch Manning Super Bowl, whenever it is, with the Jets or whoever.
Oh god.
Imagine if the Jets.
You know what? If the Jets finally got into one, that would be the safety. That would be the next one. Yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to incur wrath.
All right. So on the topic of scoring, which team do you think scores first? And basically, the way we broke down the other one probably will lead us to our answers. So, Junkman, who do you think scores first in this game?
I feel like the Chiefs are going to score first.
Yeah, it's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So field goal Patriots first.
Wait, Patriots is gonna score? That's gonna be pretty amazing. Did you mean the Bucks?
All right. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I get Brady in my head. I immediately think of Patriots. Okay.
All right.
Yes, the Bucks, the new Patriots, Captain
Yeah.
Manning down there. They're all moving out of New England down to Florida. They're getting old.
Just like
I
real
know.
life.
It's exactly. It's perfect.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks too, because I felt like the Bucks will have the ball first and they'll score. So I'll take the Bucks. Pretty good. Will there be a score in the first 5.5 minutes? And no is a slight favorite. Junkman.
I'm saying no because I think the Bucks will get stopped their first drive, and the Chiefs will score first touchdown. So
Good logic.
probably just after that first 5.5.
Okay.
I know it'll be quick, but I'm gonna
Right.
say
I feel like it usually takes some time. I'm going to say no as well.
I'm going to say yes, but it's going to be close because you're right. Like, even if you do score a touchdown on the first possession, it still can take 5 minutes. So it really is a good answer. So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'll say yes.
Is there any
Next.
truth to the rumor that the MGM guys listen to this one every year, and after you pick something, they go up, they change the lines? I
If
feel
they
like,
don't, they should.
yeah, I really feel like if you want to make it, like I know the sports book game has changed with the daily fantasy and all that kind of stuff, but so it's not like the old days where it was just you got to go to Vegas or you had a bookie or whatever. But I feel like those guys, if they wanted to, rise up the ladder, they would be tuning into the Dave Mush.
Yeah, this is the best gambling information that is out there. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have all their little sources. They're calling the campus, finding out like who was out late, who's getting suspended, who's having a shitty time in class, whose girlfriend's pregnant. And other guys like, well, like, actually, there's this guy with a podcast in Santa Monica, and he gets nothing right, especially when his friends are so convinced, and he goes the opposite way. Then we bet the house. I feel like that's a documentary that should be written or recorded.
Oh boy, the mush is gonna be. That
It's
is gonna win awards. That's it.
Be like the Jimmy the Greek not version.
You buy GameStop at like 400 or something?
No, that's a good question. No,
Is that collapse?
I don't do stocks. It's bad enough messing up the sports world. If I mess up the financial world, we're all gonna be in trouble.
I really thought you had a hand in this one. And
It does.
I read
sound
some
like
headline or something like hedge fund loses, $13 billion, and I'm like, oh my god, what is Dave doing? Like $13 billion in one day? Like what? He's got to have something to do with this. Like,
one of the podcasts and said GameStop is the new thing,
which isn't that crazy of an idea because you like video games and
Yeah.
you're that kind. So it's not terribly crazy to think that Dave said something like, "Oh, really think this is a good one, GME. Let's go, boys."
Yeah, love it. Well, I don't love the scenario there. That's kind of a mess, but we do move on, and we will ask the next prop question, which is, how many times will the chains be used to measure the distance?
Ooh.
This is a good one. I've never seen this one before.
I don't think I've ever heard this before.
Yeah, it's a new one. The over/under is 1.5, and under is a big favorite, 1 to 2, basically -200.
The best part is there's probably a lot of people who, when they come out, they're like, "What are they doing that for? There's a yellow line. Can't they see the yellow line?" Not knowing that it's not actually
Not
on
knowing
the
it's
field.
real. Or it's not real. I mean,
Yeah.
that's funny. So, yeah, I mean,
What's the number?
the number is 1.5. As I mentioned before, the under is a favorite by a lot, actually. So, what do you think, Junk Man?
I think. Seeing if I'm gonna say under. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I'll say maybe once towards the end something. They don't seem to do that a lot.
Yeah. All right, Tom. What do you say?
It's not like it used to be. They used to use them a little bit more often, but I'm going to say over because it's the favorite is under. I mean, it's 1 versus 2. It's not a huge gamble to say 2. So I'll go over.
I mean, it could happen, but I tend to only see it once during a game, if even once. So I'll say under anyway. But 2, it's going to be close, right? Like, what if it's close, And it comes down, and they need a first down. And it's 4th and inches, and it's like an inch short. So yeah, I mean, they totally would do it again. So it's I think you get great value with the over, because if you win, then you get like time and a half for it basically. So it's a really great call. Okay, so safety, we both have already talked about this. So I'm assuming we're all no on this one.
Mark my words, 2028.
2028.
Let's put that in the books and see how that turns out.
Kev, would you confirm that?
I mean, you could probably get some action from somebody on that 2028 bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm confirming. I'm no safety here.
Yeah.
Until we see a Manning.
It's so funny how true that is. Super Bowl 46, we had a safety, Eli Manning. You know, we had it again in, what was it, 40? It was 50. 53?
How old did you say the Manning kid was? 10th grade?
I think he's in 10th grade or maybe 11th, probably. Who knows?
7 years from now? It's pushing it. Oh, well.
Mm-hmm. All right. So next, and now for the closing stuff as far as the game, will there be overtime? And yes, this year will be 7-1, and no will be 1-13. Tom, what do you think?
Well, I think no, but 7-1 isn't bad to put money on.
Yeah, they tend to make it very juicy. They do.
Yeah, I mean it happened once, but it was in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Trying to remember the exact year, but
well, it was 51 when the Patriots beat the Falcons, 28-3, and then they blew the whole thing.
I'll say yes. You got two great quarterbacks. Could be a effective finish.
Changing to yes.
Let's take that 7-1, and that's why they'll need the chains just to make sure.
Yeah. The chains. I love it. You get the chains and the overtime at the same time. It's gonna be awesome. But you get the chains. They're short. They will kick a field goal to tie the game. Oh yeah, that's everything. That's going to be pretty good. So, Kev, will you maintain the no, or will you try for yes?
I feel like I like Tom's reasoning. I feel like I don't think there is, but for 7-1 for teams that seem, it's a 4-point spread. So yeah, I would bet on that there would be, just because I think it's good number, good odds.
Yeah, it is really good value. Like, you're going to have like a dozen prop bets. You might as well try it. Like, if you win, you get 7 of your units back. Like, that's really good. So, these games tend to be close anyway. So, last year was pretty close until the fourth quarter, and then it got away. But, so I think it's good. I'll say no, but I can't bet that in real life, because no is minus 1,300. You got to put down $13 to win $1. That's not worth it. So I'll say no, but that is not. I would never actually do that, because that's just. Why would you do that? Like, what if they go to overtime?
Hey, I've done stuff that silly or worse when it comes to horse racing. Many
really?
times. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, you're like, some thing is like a 1-9. Like, this horse can't lose unless if it got shot, and I'm like, you know what? Well. It's like, $100, you win like $9, but the bets we would be betting more than that, just because we thought it would be like an easy, quick $100. So you throw $1,000 down and win 100. We used to call them bridge jumping, because if you lost, you'd feel like on the way home you would jump off a bridge. Mm-hmm. But we did it all the time, and mostly it worked out. And it was almost like, it's like, hey, I got a free $100. But for those 2 minutes, you wanted to throw up.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even want to know if you're dealing with like thousands of dollars on something like that. Yeah, that
was a long time ago. Long time ago.
Yeah, I can hear you in that. Like, even if you did it on a smaller scale, like, oh, I'm gonna put like $200 to win like $20. Like, yeah, but that's annoying if you lose that.
Right.
Like, think of all the things you could do with $200. Buy like. So many grocery stores. Trips is a grocery store. It's like
you buy a lot of Tom's beer.
A lot of beer. It's like
$200 tab is a good amount.
Yeah, it's solid.
We're a very good value for your money too.
Nice.
You said
nice.
Shane was promoting his business.
Love it. Okay, so from beer we go to Gatorade, and this is our
Nice.
favorite question. What is the Gatorade color going to be this year? Dumped on the winning coach. Orange is of course the favorite at 165 plus 165, but it is tied this year with red for obvious reasons. Both teams wear red. They're big red teams. So like both teams are the Bucks wear red, and the Chiefs wear red. So it's a natural choice. So that's a real fight. The rest of the colors, green or yellow at plus 320, good value there. Clear or water at plus 700. Blue, which would be 8-1, and purple at 11-1. So Kevin, what is the color going to be, you think?
And is this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this tradition is kind of stalled except for the Super Bowl, right? Or do people still do this in the playoff games?
Oh, wow. I think they do in like the championship level because they did. I think they did it with the Bucks. The Bucks did it when they beat the Packers.
I feel like these guys, the coaches are, I don't know. Andy Reid's kind of I'm going to say, because I really like plus 700, I'm going to say it's water.
Has that happened?
I don't think I've ever picked water.
That's interesting.
I mean, I've seen it rarely, but I have seen water, like, ice water get dumped on people.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's probably happened.
I feel like maybe Bruce Arians is like, I only have like one good shirt, guys. So don't stain it. He's kind of like an old guy,
Yeah, he's pretty old. This is true. So
I'm gonna go for that value at 700, Dave, plus 7.
Oh, good luck. That's exciting. It's great value. It really is, because you could even do like Gatorade Ice, which is kind of grayish white, and that will qualify because it's sort of clear, I guess. So
I'll take it.
Yeah, or like if they have 7-Up, like anyone would know the difference on TV. But so great. So Tom, let's go to you. What do you think? What color are you thinking?
I always seem to forget what color I picked when I don't pick orange. So I'm going to pick orange this year, and that way when I see it on the TV, I'll text you, Dave, and be like, "Hey, it's orange."
Oh, I live for that. I do. It's cool. It's very cool to see that. We had one year where we didn't know what the color was because I think they did two. It was like red and orange. It was like, whoa. And they both won. They paid out to both of them.
Okay.
It's great. I'm going to go orange because red is too obvious. It's just like they want you to pick red. It's like, well, the team color is red. They're going to pick red. No. It's going to be orange. Because that's what Vegas is egging you on to pick red. I'm not buying it. I'm going to take orange. So, an awesome choice. I mean, would you really want to be drinking purple Gatorade during a game? That doesn't sound very refreshing compared to orange. You're tired. You just had a lot of reps. You're out there. You're tackling people. I mean, orange sounds like the one.
Purple and blue, they always seem like kind of like detergent-y type things. I wouldn't want to drink that.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. So that's it for Gatorade color. Now we move on to the MVP. And this basically depends on who you think is going to win the game. And the choices are Patrick Mahomes at minus 120, clear favorite. Tom Brady getting 2-1 odds. Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Chiefs, getting 10-1. Tyreek Hill, the wide receiver for the Chiefs, 10-1. And for whatever reason, I'll discuss this with the football guys I discussed this with the football guys when we did that show. This guy, the running back, is not a good running back, but he's getting 25-1 odds for the Super Bowl MVP. I do not understand where that's coming from, other than the Chiefs' defense being so bad against the run. That's all I got. But he's getting 25-1 for whatever reason. Mike Evans is the wide receiver for Tampa Bay. He's getting 28-1. Godwin's getting 30-1. He also is a wide receiver. And everybody else, 40-1. So, Tom, you've been feeling Tom Brady's journey. Do you take it all the way to the MVP?
I feel like if the Bucks win it, then he's going to get it. I mean, that would kind of be very difficult not to give it to him, but unless something major happens during the game. But I'm going to pick Tom Brady for it. I think they're going to win, and he'll be the MVP choice.
Love it. All right, Kevin, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Chalk City on this one and pick Mahomes.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
I mean,
I sometimes I feel like I've underestimated the Chiefs to an extent this week because I felt like the Bucs are such a live dog. But you have to remember, if they lose the game, forget it. So it's a good pick, Kev. And Brady's a good pick too, I think. And I'm going to go with it. I think Brady at 2-1 odds. I mean, that's a lot of odds for a quarterback of a winning team. That's like, I think you got to take a chance on it. I think if it hits, wow, that's a great payout. So I'm going to go Brady. And finally, from the game, before we get to our wacky bets, we have the MVP, thanks. And the usual choices this year. Teammates at -150. Religion at +210. Family at +550. City at +650. And then the coach and owner at 14-1 and 16-1 respectively. You could also select none of the above, but I doubt any of us do that. Junkman, who will the MVP, in your case Mahomes, think first?
there's no. What are the odds if that day somebody thinks Trump?
Well, that's just considered none of the above, so that's 14-1.
Oh, because you never know with Brady. That's just his tea time on Monday is what.
Where at Mar-a-Lago or something? Is that right?
Yeah, it's a nice course. I feel like both of those guys, both of the quarterbacks who are the most likely MVPs, will thank their teammates first.
Okay.
They seem like those kind of guys.
Well, they've done it before too. I mean, I know Brady has.
They've been there, yeah. And even Mahomes, like you said, he's young, but he's been there once already now. So I don't think he'd be thrown off by all that stuff. So
good answer for sure. All right, Tom, what do you say?
I think teammates is a solid choice. So I'm going to go with teammates.
And I will too. I think it's because we already know that they do this. I feel like there's no reason to believe that they'll go differently. So teammates is a good choice, and I'll roll with it too. So we're unanimous on teammates. And that leaves us with just the wacky bets, just a few of them this year. And we'll go quickly through these. Number 1, the first missed field goal of the game. This is if they miss a field goal. If there are no missed field goals, then this is a no action. But if there's a missed field goal, which way does it go? Does it go wide left? And the doink is included. So if it bounces off, that qualifies as wide left. Does it go wide right? Doink included. So if it bounces off the upright and goes off course. Or does it go short? And the odds are the same for all three. So, Junkie, which direction do you think the missed field goal will be if there is one?
left.
Left. All right. I like it. How about you, Tom?
As a Giants fan, I have to say wide right.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. That really is. So, with all due respect to Squat Norwood, I'm also going to select right. I feel like that's a very popular destination for doinks, so we'll go with it. Next up, how many times will Bill Belichick be mentioned on the broadcast?
Who's doing the broadcast?
The broadcast is being done by CBS, so Nance and Romo will be on it.
Oh, God almighty.
not a fan, I guess. I understand Junkman's not a fan.
And I don't even watch the games, but I listen to this, the sports talk, when I am out, and I just hear them. They, they'll roll the clips of them and stuff. They'll do the recaps of the weekend, and I'm like, oh my God, they do the clips. I'm like, I just can't take the clips, let alone a whole game.
Well,
especially like being a Giant fan, and it's just Tony Romo. Just the beginning, starting out, it's like, oh no, and then so
sensible.
What Nance, Belichick? So is there? Did you say is there an over and under?
Yeah, the over under is 1. And
over.
Yeah, I figured because it's over is a huge favorite. 1 to 3 odds.
It'll be one of those things where the bettors they'll be waiting. Like the first mention will be like that, and then you're like, yes, we got it locked up, and then you'll have to wait till like the very end almost. Or
yeah.
Especially if Brady wins, it'll be way over.
Right.
Because they'll be like, this is proves it doesn't need the coach and blah blah blah.
It's a good point. It's not going to be like in the first quarter. Like you get the first one, right? Like when they start the game.
I think you'll get the first one early, yeah. And then,
but then you're going to be like deep into the game, like after halftime, and you have to wait for it. Okay, Tom, what do you say?
Yeah, the names Brady and Belichick are so tied together in sports parlance that I'm going to say if 1 is the number, it's got to be over.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with it too. I mean, it's just an obvious call. Even like even in other Super Bowls that don't involve Brady or Belichick, they still bring a Brady and Belichick in them. So it's
Right.
I mean, seriously, you're only gonna give me one? Like, I'll take the over. Okay, so staying on that topic, the next wacky bet is how many times will the Patriots be mentioned during the telecast? This one's a little bit tighter. The over/under is 2, and the odds are over is -150, under +110.
Is this
Junkie,
Patriots by name Patriots?
yeah, I mean, maybe they would say New England, but I'm pretty sure they would say Patriots. Yeah, so let's assume it's Patriots by name. Yes.
Belichick mentions don't count.
No. The Patriots specifically, like the Patriots without a
Right, like Tom Brady, who usually took the Patriots to 5 Super Bowls, is now going for his first without the Patriots. You could say it twice in one sentence.
Yeah, you could. Now I gotta mention that
poor writing, but still.
I think this is only factored in between the opening kickoff and the end of the game. So you can't count the ones that they do in the beginning of the game when they're talking about, like the intro. I don't think those count. So that's an
okay.
Important factor.
I still say it's over. I feel like you'll get like and Brady, and as you know, Gronkowski was a teammate of Brady's when they were on the Patriots. I think there's there's a couple little chances for that.
Yeah.
The Gronk thing and the Brady's past.
Can the Chiefs have as many championships as the Patriots?
Right, like Andy Reid could never beat them when they were on the Patriots, but now he's on the Bucs. Whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, the Chiefs almost beat the Patriots 2 years ago.
Plus, you got those 2 announcers who just won't shut up, so
yeah,
won't let anything breathe. So Romo will be like, "Yeah, this is the same play that they used to run when in '93 when the Patriots had Bledsoe," and I'm like, "Shut up, just stop."
Yeah, it's there's so many ways they could do it. So I think it's a good answer.
What if they say Pats?
No, that'll count. Okay. Pats will count. Good question.
I'm taking the over.
Yeah. Tom, what do you say?
I'll say over because I've already mentioned them once when I completely had no idea.
You didn't even nice.
The Patriots are going to score first. Hey, wait a minute. That's right. It's just because Brady is there doesn't mean it's the Patriots.
Right, and it's a Super Bowl, so you usually assume that they're in it.
That is great.
Thing when you hear Brady.
That's a great example.
It's a great example.
So,
and it could happen in the game. Like, I think Romo might do that by accident, or Nance might do it by accident.
Are on the 20-yard line, and the Bucs.
Bugs, yeah, and that will count. So that's a great call. I'm on the over as well. I mean, look, lay the 150. Let's do it because it's gonna happen. All right. So now the final of these questions, this triumvirate of Patriot-related questions. What will we mention first? Brady's 10th Super Bowl, or Brady's age, which is 43 years old. And I don't think they have to mention the actual age, just to mention his age at all. Like, oh, at his age, he's just doing amazing things at this age, So that will count. So, Tom, what do you think will get mentioned first and between them?
I mean, 43-year-old Tom Brady going for his 10th Super Bowl. I mean, it has to go first in the sentence, even if it's in the same sentence. So I'm going to go with you.
It's a good point.
Yeah, and I agree. I was just trying to imagine that, and Tom said it perfectly. And Nance he's a pretty well-spoken guy. He'll say the sentence correctly. If he does say that sentence that Tom just said, he will say it correctly. It won't be like John Madden or somebody just totally butchering the English language.
That's Super Bowl. Boom. 43 years old.
Yeah, is this Super Bowl 43? No, John. No, he's 40. Okay, so I agree with Tom.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, you're right. Cause I was gonna say 10 Super Bowl, and I'll stay with it. But you're right. Like they go hand in hand. So it's like, well, at his age to be in the 10th Super Bowl, that's pretty remarkable. So I feel like you guys are gonna win. So I'll go.
Yeah, I feel like that's the proper way to speak.
Yeah, just naturally how you say it in the sentence. Yeah, that's a good point. A couple more. Do you guys want to do the fan run onto the field question? That's kind of pointless.
Run onto the field?
Like what fans?
Any fan.
I think.
Will a fan run onto the field?
I feel like after the January.
1,000 special guests that are there. I mean, I don't think it.
No, I would be surprised.
I almost feel like this is a different topic for maybe a whole other show, but I feel like after what went on in January near Tom, you better be careful where you're running into places.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be I know this is the different, but in the future, when things are opened up again, you're going to have a lot of politicians and dignitaries at sporting events again. It's just by nature. So that means there's going to be a more muscle there too. And I wouldn't be, I mean, running out on the field, you might not make it. It might not be like you have to deal with, you know, the left fielder coming to tackle you or something like that. You might be a lot worse. That stuff has got to, I don't know. I mean, the safety of everybody, not just the politicians, the safety of everybody should be.
Yeah, 100%. I think we've reached a point where I don't think it can be tolerated anymore. It's not funny anymore at this point.
No, you see some of those, the college ones too, and even the well-meaning ones, like people can get hurt.
Yeah. You
know?
People do get hurt. You know, maybe not necessarily that seriously, but you get hurt. So good points, guys. Okay, then the final 2 or 3. Let's do at least 2. Which of these ads will appear first after kickoff? I mean, my friend Andrew Jacobson, aka Coach, made this one up. It's a good one. Doritos or Cheetos? Which of the 2 will you see first? Tom, what do you say?
I know a number of advertisers aren't doing ads this Super Bowl. So.
Coke and Pepsi are not in the mix.
Budweiser, I think, and
Wow.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they've been in there forever.
That's like $50 million you guys just rattled off right there.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Not in the mix. I don't know why.
Goodell's bonus is going down.
Well, less competition from Budweiser, so I'm happy.
Oh my God, I can't even mention that. Yeah, it's not even.
I would say. I mean, Doritos always seems to have a ton of ads. I'll say Doritos.
Yeah, I think that's the shot. That's the one.
I think so too. I just remember more Doritos commercials from Super Bowls of the past than Cheetos, so it's easy to me. How many commercials? All right, what's the over/under the number of commercials that will reference first responders or healthcare? The over/under is 3. Kev?
Well, you guys I didn't know about the people backing out. But I feel that it'll probably be over because you're going to get 1 or 2 commercials about it from the paying company, from like the for-profit companies, but you'll probably even get a couple of like public service announcements in there that I don't know if those qualify, you know, like maybe even like a kind of an ad for like the U.S. Army, you know, but they're talking about the work that they're doing. So I feel like the mentions are going to be over, as they should. I mean, this is the next. Talk about like veterans, you know, how veterans, you know, should all earn or have deserved and earned our respect. But there's a whole new kind of veteran and frontline worker, you know, that we now have in this country. So they deserve. I think I've always loved our veterans and all that kind of stuff, but I feel like this is the next crop that needs the recognition, deserves it after what went on.
Yeah, great. Well, that's very well said. And with that, he has the over. Tom, what would he say?
Yeah, I couldn't say it better than Kevin just did. So, I mean, 3 when I first heard it, I'm like, that's actually not a bad number. But all things considered, I wouldn't be surprised if it's over. I'll go with what I hope. I hope they mention them.
Nice. I go with what I hope. I love that.
Yeah, I hope so too. So I'm gonna go over. Great answers, guys. That's really cool. I have one other question, but we can omit it. The question was how many songs during halftime.
You just said you would admit it, and then you said it.
Well,
now we have to. Now we have to answer.
Now we have to do it.
All right. So the over/under is 8. Will there be? And you know, if it's like 10 seconds of a song, it counts because you can't sing entire songs in halftime. There's not enough time. So.
Who is the halftime people? I don't even know.
The Weeknd and I'm sure other assorted guests.
Oh God Almighty! This is. Whew. How did those people not get the virus? Like. Oh my God! And I don't even know you've told me about them, so I don't even really know enough to. I'm ignorant, so I shouldn't comment. But the clips you played, I've heard, or like you used to. I don't know. I don't know how that is even a thing. I thought you had to get to some kind of level to be doing the Super Bowl. Like what are we going back now in time? Like, oh, you're a band, so come on down. Are they local? Are they like from Tampa? Maybe is that?
They are not from Tampa. I'll get to that in just a moment. I'll explain why I'm getting to it.
I don't even know what we were even talking about.
The over-under was 8. How many songs?
Eight what? 8 people in the band?
No. How many songs would there be during halftime? How many songs would they cover?
Yeah. Oh, under, I'll say.
You're going to say under? Okay. Tom, what do you say?
I have no idea who they are.
This is why I didn't. That's why I saved it to the end and it almost omitted it. You see why I did?
Right. You know who you're talking to. It's been 10 years. You know us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say normally I would say under 8 songs. You usually don't see all that many songs.
Okay.
I have no idea how long their songs are.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I guess this will give them the publicity towards our generation of people that
I feel like, I mean, we have
well tuned.
We have like a local radio station here that like I just will turn on just to hear, you know, local news every once in a while, and they play really crappy music, all like whatever the new like pop, whatever, like the charts or whatever. And I always feel like after I'm thinking, God, that was a terrible song, the guy always comes back and goes, and that was The Weeknd. I just feel like it's always the case. There's 2 or 3 bands that I don't know anything about, but I always am like, my God, that is terrible. What? And then like I got to just turn the radio off. It's not worth it. Getting the news, local news, is not worth it. And then they always say like, that's The Weeknd, or there's a couple other ones in there.
Maybe
Maroon 5, I think, is another one that I just can't stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
All
they
right.
can under 8 of their best songs. Maybe
Yeah.
one of them would be good.
They should just replay the Prince one every year.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
every
That's
year.
where it's at. It is so good. I would watch it again.
I've watched it. I've watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think probably 4 or 5 times, but yeah.
That's a great call. I'm gonna stay over, and we'll leave it at that as far as the music. So, guys, last thing I'm gonna do before we say goodnight tonight, I will give you the top 5 dumbest bets of prop bets of the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Nice.
Number 1, which performer will sing more words between the two? As we talked about in the national anthem. How will they distribute the balance of lyrics? Number 2, The Weeknd, who is from Canada. Will The Weeknd mention Canada during his performance?
During his performance, so it's one person? Is that really?
And I'll be honest with you. When I found out that The Weeknd was one guy, I also was like kind of blown away. I thought that's a band. I thought it was a band. It's actually a dude.
What? Oh my God, Tom, you're not even gonna believe this one, but it's actually spelled Weeknd. So it's not even spelled correctly.
OJ.
It's The Weeknd. It's The Weeknd. Yeah. Oh
sorry.
no, gosh, no. So this isn't even a group.
No.
He's from Toronto.
Yep.
And I feel like he should probably.
Solo performers are usually big names. Maybe I'm just really out of touch with things.
I feel like the wall should have been built in Canada border, not Mexican. Like, what is going
I
on?
agree with that. I'm not going to disagree.
Like,
Yeah.
that's where the cold air comes from anyway. So
Yeah.
if we can just get it,
Keep it more temperate in the northern
keep
states.
your chilled and your weekend, and then we already have Neil Young. What else do we need from Canada? We've got Neil. That's pretty much it.
Fair point. All right, so let me give you 3 more. What happens to the price of Bitcoin during the Super Bowl?
This is another thing that just confounds my brain. Like, I don't even know what it is. I know that it's sort of like what you're talking about the GameStop, like hedge funds. I still don't know what those do. Like,
Yeah.
but they're so wealthy, and this Bitcoin thing, people are making fortunes out of. It's just so. I don't know. I don't even know what your question is, but we're getting to the point where now I miss these shows because of these things. I like find out stuff. I find out things about myself. Like I get all fired up for things I know nothing about. That's what you always do, Dave. You always bring out these things out of nowhere. I feel like Bitcoin, The Weeknd, which isn't even spelled right.
It took me a while to figure that out too.
What is
like,
happening?
Years down the line, I was like, "What? You spell it without the e?"
And now I'm all I can think of, and my other side, this other brain is thinking, there's someone at MGM or wherever whose job it is to count between the 2 people doing the national anthem. Okay, he said 3 words, he said 4 words, and they got a little thing, and like that's someone's job on Sunday morning. It's like, or afternoon. Oh man,
yeah, it's a mess.
I really miss, like, speaking to grown-ups. Like I told you, it's like me and the 2.5-year-old. And I see my wife at dinner because she's, you know, she's supporting our family by working. So we built her an office. So these conversations like mean everything. Like I haven't had one of them in forever.
Yeah.
You know, the Zoom stuff is
glad to accommodate my friends.
It's great. Yeah. Cause then and I think too, it's better. You seeing your faces too. It's awesome.
Yeah. The Zoom, this is the best thing about Zoom. Get to see you
It
guys.
really is. It makes the conversations even fuller and richer than
Yeah.
just on the phone.
Totally.
So what was the bet?
Oh, well, the bet was what happens to the price of Bitcoin. Who cares?
Oh, right.
If I could figure that out, then I wouldn't be taking a prop bet. I would be buying or selling Bitcoin.
I have a question, a specific question to this. Not to sound like a, but do they do that on Sundays? I thought they don't do the stocks on Sundays.
I have no feel for that at all. I couldn't even tell you. Just like you, I'm just trying to figure out what it is first.
I have a very small
exchanges. I have no idea really how it works.
Yeah,
I have a very
you would
small.
have to talk to LT about that one. I have no feeling.
Okay. Oh yeah. I have like a very. I had like money from something like a couple $100, right, in one of these things that I just never closed. So I'll keep it, and then if for some reason it's just there. It doesn't matter why. But then I like every few months look at it and then I see something like the one or two that I have and it says after hours trading and I'm always like, what the fuck is that? Like, how is that fair? you have from this time to this time to do your work and then now the market's closed, but then there's after hours stuff. Like I don't even know that. Like that's how little I know about this stuff.
Yeah, that does sound pretty shady.
It's like, so the Chiefs win 35-30 and then hold on, you have to find out an hour later that in after hours, the game, Brady actually threw a touchdown to Gronk, and now they're the champ. Like, what? The stock market, it's so shady.
It really
Everything
is.
About it. And partly it's because I don't understand it. I get that. But
no, it is.
You hear all those things.
There have
after
been movies
hours
about it.
trading? Come on.
Yeah, you're right. It's very shady. And I think we're just seeing the extent of that this week.
I've been reading all that stuff. It's fascinating.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, I've always been a lurker on Reddit, so I've read. I just I've been following it that way. But it's wild.
It is. All right.
It's not set up for small investors. It's set up for large corporations. So that's
kind
of what you've seen in the past week is small people started banding together and doing things, and the large corporations said, "Nope, can't bankrupt us," and shut everything down. So it's like, all right,
change the rules, right? That's
a lot of moving goalposts in that area.
I thought of it. I read one of the stories, and I'm thinking at the end, I'm like, it's what happens. Like when us, regular folks learn the rules and figure it out, then they just change them.
Yeah.
And then we have to
Sounds
figure
like
it out again.
a lot of stuff in life. Guys, we got two more. I gotta just roll these out.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 4. Will Kenny G be on stage during the halftime show? And I swear that was an actual prop bet. I didn't make that up.
Is he part of this weekend?
I have no idea why that's a prop bet. Like that. That's why I put it in there, because I have no freaking clue what has to do with anything at all.
Pop out from under the stage like Slash or something.
Just a little clavinet or saxophone or whatever. Oh, that's great. Yeah, now Junkie's just dumped out it. He can't.
I mean, he has no. There's. I don't understand. He has no. He's not Canadian.
No.
Wish he was, but he's not. He's not from Tampa. He's not from Kansas City, right? Isn't he from the West Coast? So like,
he's from
what is
Seattle? Or he lives in Seattle at least. So. Yeah, that one's we're just gonna have to leave it as a mystery. But my favorite one of these, and Junkie, you'll appreciate this. How many times will Tony Romo say, "Let me tell you, Jim"?
Oh, if it was only one.
The over/under is 2.
Yeah, I think it will probably be. You know what? I bet you I'm gonna put it'll push. It'll be 2, but they'll be really excruciating.
Yeah, I hear you. I like Tony Romo, but I get it. He talks an awful lot, and as Junkie mentioned, I mean his association with the Cowboys does not help things for his cause. So I get it. Well, that was a lot of fun. We probably could have spent more time talking about the weekend and why it's nonsense, but it is time.
Just how it's one guy. It's that part.
It's mind blowing. It seriously is mind blowing. Like I agree with you for sure. So unfortunately we've run out of time. It's time for final thoughts, and Tom, I'll give it to you first. What are your final thoughts as far as our props and our weekend ahead?
Well, I will be down at the brewery. I'll find a way to get it on the television, even though we don't have cable. They have these over-the-top services you might have heard of. So I'll be trying to get it up there so that we can possibly have a decent, socially distanced crowd, but something that we can all enjoy and drink some beer and watch the game and text some Dave and about our prop bets, and we'll see how it goes. And love doing it with you guys. It's wonderful. First time we did this was 10 years ago. Maybe not to this day, but somewhere in this week. So 10 years later, it's nice to see everything continuing, even with a really tough year. But we will get through it. This will continue, and I'm glad to see all you guys again.
Yeah, that I agree. It's really fun doing these props with you guys. Thanks so much. And now to Kevin for the final word.
I feel like everybody should go to G34.3 Brewing Company. That's 100%. My final word.
Love it. Guys, this has
whenever
been
they can. Whenever, what is it? It's Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, Lorton, Virginia.
Lorton, Virginia. See, you don't need to do your marketing. I'll do it because it's delicious beer, good people, nice people. They know their stuff. And it almost, I mean, yeah, maybe one of these days we'll go down there, Dave. We could do a show.
Yep.
I'll go completely off the wagon. It'll be just disaster. It'll be fun at the time. And then it'll be a disaster that the rest of the night when Tom is like prying me out of the back when I'm like, like my mouth on one of the giant vats of booze. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'd show you guys a good time.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, thank you again. This was a lot of fun. Take care of yourselves. And we'll do it again next year, yeah? And good luck with your props.
We'll do it at the brewery and when they have the taco truck.
Nice.
Yes. Excellent.
Beauty.
All right.
Take care, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you too.
All right, fellas. Well, that's our program today. That's our program tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I want to thank you guys for joining us, everybody. This has been good. Thanks to Tom. Thanks to Junkman. And thanks to all of you listening tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Just make sure, of course, to keep following our program. A lot to come. And we'll tell you all about what happened as far as the Super Bowl after the fact, I guess. So thanks. Be safe out there. Celebrate responsibly. Watch that Super Bowl. And but do it socially distanced and with a mask if you have to in a group environment. But try to minimize that if you can. I'm Dave Medina. We were on DITCOW on Twitter, DITCOW.com, and Dave in the City Out West on Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time.